tried to escape. Thank you. Now we move to the Riccarton Wigram Community Board. We have a
because the chair of the community board, he attended the community board conference.
Yes.
So asked me on his behalf, to briefly report to the state of Wigram Community Board and meeting. The first one is part A regarding to the naming of the new reserves.
Would you like to move that?
Yeah, I would like to move.
Seconded by Vicky Buck.
Right. Because this one, the board is go with the staff recommendation. We have the two attachments. The first attachment one is in relation to the proposed reserve names and the classification. They consist of several different new reserves. Second one is in relation to the name and the location of the map. So that's it. Yeah.
Great. Yanni?
That can answer questions on this.
What
Well, like on page 79, for example, one of the proposed names for one of the parks is the Richmond Park. We already have a Richmond Park in the city, and my understanding was that we don't try and have the same names for streets or for reserves because it leads to a lot of confusion.
Can somebody, Jane, can somebody answer that question? Is that you? Oh, sorry, who's the?
Richmond Park.
Can we refer that one back?
I mean, if it hasn't been picked up on this one, I wonder about a number of the other ones that are also similar to things that we already have. So.
I can get somebody to relook at that one.
Okay, like the Heathcote Esplanade Reserve as well. I mean, it's in Wigram, and I was going to raise the issue around recognition of mana whenua and naming of reserves.
Well, won't it be related to the Heathcote River?
Why don't you just take those three and send them back to the board?
Well, there's there's several. The Heathcote Esplanade Reserve, so you're saying that anything along the Heathcote that isn't in Heathcote as a suburb shouldn't be called Heathcote?
Well, it's just.
Eh?
Yeah,
no,
that's fine. It's just the principle that if there's other similar names, or in fact, in this case, the same name of a park.
Yeah,
then,
no, Richmond that works for. Are you seriously saying that we need to relook at all of the Heathcote reserves?
No. Well, if there's other reserves called Heathcote Esplanade Reserve in other parts of the Heathcote, then I don't know how this is connected. But as long as it's been checked off, so it doesn't add to confusion when people try and find it on their GPS and end up 10 kilometres away, that's fine. That's why I was just asking if the process has been gone through.
Okay, well, why don't we take the staff recommendation and approve the proposed reserve names subject to clarification around those. Subject to checking against conflicting existing reserves. Yep.
And can I also have information around how we're incorporating mana whenua values in the naming of reserves?
That's a separate question.
Right. Okay.
Was that an apology for yesterday, was it?
With Ngāi Tahu yesterday, that we do have a process, an internal process that we go through, generally developer-led for the street names and proposed to community boards. And in Wigram, for example, the reserves have
No, I'm not going to go there.
But the streets don't. All I was trying to ask for was just, I think, reflecting on their submission, and I indicated to them informally after their deputation that I'd be really keen to work through a better process so that we can think about that when we're naming reserves or streets. I think
so that was your apology, was it?
That's not an apology.
You deserve to apologise. Anyway, So that we'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And the next one, Jimmy?
The next one is item regarding to the private land. Wigram estate limited, land exchange and the sale. These are the issue, the main purpose arrived from the subdivision plan for Wigram estate limit, and also the necessity for facilitate and optimize the development routing and open space provision. If we review the attachment 1, the map, we can see this map consists of three different piece of land. The green one is a private owned land that's belong to the Wigram estate limit. The orange one is currently the council owned the land, for the drainage and the road purpose. But this kind of have a exchange of the land came for the further development. The pink one, a moment because the original kind of reserve for the development, etc. But right now it's normal. So this the pink one. The council consider, to sell the area of the land. But at least the original, we purchased is from the NATAF in February 2014. Is $216,000, including GST. But right now, if we sell this one, is based on the market value plus or minus 10%. But in no less than the current the value $260,000, including the GST. So you can have a look.
Yep.
Yes.
So you'd like to move?
I'd
that?
like to move. Yes, because
and seconded by
yeah.
Vicky Buck.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. Next item, that the report as a whole be adopted.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to the 5.4 and also 7.1 regarding to Avaka pit. The particular concern, the median, the density, the fiber block, MDF, the issue. Because the staff, they issued the abatement notice to the company Avaka, the holdings limit on 13th of April to request them to remove around the 9,000 tons MDF the material within a year. So right now the staff and enforcement team monitor this the status. Just want to let you know. Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
That's great. So you'd like to move that the
Yeah, I'd
report
like
as a
to
whole
move,
be adopted?
yes.
Jimmy Chen,
Yes.
seconded Vicky Buck. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. The next item on the agenda is the report of the Wigram Community Board meeting of the 31st of March 2015.
Yes.
You'd like to move that,
I'd like
Jimmy?
to move, yes.
And Vicky, second. Put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Item number 16.
Yeah, item number 16 also have a two-part A items.
Right.
First one regarding the Kogu subdivision, the road reserve. But actually, this is in the between the Avatia Road and the Wigram Road, that area, Wigram area, because there's the new subdivision. Currently, we have a street, the new road reserve, but for the purpose, can the join connect with the new development area. So the staff would like to, to kind of to convert this the reserve as the dedicated as the road. So that's based on the RMA concern the issue. But detail you can see the attachment 1. They have a 3 the green area is the road reserve will become the road to adjoining the new subdivision. Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
So you'd like to move
I'd
that?
like to move, yes.
And Vicky would like to second. Any discussion? Put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. What a busy wee community board you've been.
That's right. Second one is also part A regarding the Riccarton Road and intersection with the Prairie Street. The staff consider, because this road is quite heavy traffic flow, and also currently the intersection of Prairie Street and the Riccarton Road, have a zebra kind of pedestrian crossing. But in the last 5 years, have a car accident or pedestrian accident for many times, and also compared to some other the zebra pedestrian crossing. So they would like to upgrade the facility as a signal pedestrian crossing. But one issue is because during the community board meeting, one of the dairy shop, the Larry's dairy shop, the businessman, and the surrounding residents, they raised this issue in a community board meeting. Particular concern, if we upgrade this kind of signal facility, will remove those kind of car park in front of their dairy shop. So the community board consider this kind of situation. So except the 5.4 and the 5.9, these two actually is remove those car park. But the community board request the staff can report back regarding to this one, whether consider in the other car park have a parking 5 minutes, in that area, then to make the final decision. Only 5.4 and the 5.9.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. So do you want to move that?
I want to move the community board.
The board recommendation?
Yes.
And are you happy to second that, Vicky?
The board was unanimous on it.
Right.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Phil?
What's up there now is correct in terms of the numbers, the
Yep.
causes, but what I just want to ask about is, can we be assured that since a staff report's going back to the board, that us agreeing to all the other recommendations today is still workable? I'm just wanting to make sure that all of the clauses will...
Yes, the whole community board was unanimous, and staff were very good about finding a solution. So Prairie Street has a very dangerous intersection, and signalising it is very much supported, because there's a whole pile of kids crossing there for St Teresa's. The issue is that there's a dairy right on that corner, and he wants to maintain some parking.
Yes.
They've found a way of shortening the median strip so that one park at least can be maintained.
Yeah, just for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Yanni?
Yeah, thank you. Did the board consider the impact of the likely bus priority lane through this intersection?
Doesn't go through that intersection.
Well, my understanding was that we had a plan for a bus priority
Stops at
lane
Metapo
through
Street.
Riccarton Road,
Metapo.
long term.
Stops further up the road.
I understand the current consultation, but I thought the overall plan was a bus priority lane down Riccarton Road, and I just wanted to check whether this is being future-proofed or considered as part of this design.
Yes, it did consider those, and it considered the impact on bicycles, which is not ideal in this circumstance. And so it may well be that the 5-minute parking cannot be sustained into the long term, but the considered view of the community and the community board was that it could, at least in the short term. It's not the best solution for cyclists, I have to say, and we probably do need to look at it in another couple of years. It just needs a bit more width in that road.
I guess the obvious question for me, from reading through the submissions, is why you wouldn't just, as much as I hate it, signalise an intersection, which would have wider benefits to possibly buses, cyclists and pedestrians, rather than just what's being proposed.
It wasn't the safest place to do it.
Yes. Yeah. Also,
There was 2 hours on it, yeah,
Yes,
so
right,
every
yeah.
possibility was considered.
Yeah. She's right. Yeah, because recently the council, have a kind of consultation. The moment the staff received the 80 the kind of deputation, and they have the publication on the current St. Teresa the church hall. One day I was in there, and Deputy Mayor one day was in there. There's my personal view is quite a few people express their concern, but it's the bus corridor along the whole Riccarton Road, rather than this the pedestrian crossing, the small issue. Yes.
Lovely. Thank you. So I will... Andrew?
Just coming back to this business of the P5 parking space and the board recommendation in item 7, does that align with what Naresh Patel was asking in his deputation in 5.3 on page 120? So the one parking space would meet his request?
It may be 2. It's between 1 and 2.
So the board's recommendation is A P.
So that we can make the pedestrian crossing safe.
Yeah,
He was there for the consideration of.
and he was comfortable with the way that it went. All right, great, thank you.
Right, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. And now the report as a whole be adopted. I think Vicky Buck will move that and Jimmy Chen will second it.
Happy.
All right, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. We move on to the Shere Papanui Community Board.